becoming quite popular. If you time the shockwave properly with the Nocturne ultimate, it is essentially unavoidable. You can't even flash it.
Yeah.
So, you have to have that timing perfect. If you do not, it just falls on its face. It looks really, really silly because the ball doesn't leash during the Nocturne ulti as he's traveling. So it's really just all about getting that timing right. We are going to have Fudge going with the Gnar as Morgan goes for his signature pick. First time we've seen him play it in NA with the Renekton.
Yeah, Gnar is a bit of an old school counter pick, but definitely not an easy lane to outplay. So definitely have players who are comfortable on both sides of it. And the Nocturne Orianna is almost like specifically into Azir as well, because it's just such a good way of threatening him in side lanes. Not to mention, as we saw Inspired do, at least 3 times in his game, you can time your spell shield for the Azir ult and just really be sticky towards the Azir once you ult on. So it's a pretty dangerous combo.
It's always really interesting to me too, because Nocturne, when it's in a game, really changes the dynamic of how top laners want to play. When I think of Gnar, I think of Gnar, not just like slamming the Renekton generally, but getting an advantage and being able to get push insides and sometimes threaten towers and things like that. But that is very hard to do with Nocturne on the map. If you're pushing to try to threaten tier 2s and to try to farm plates, you are really exposed. Once Renekton has Stridebreaker, dash in, slow, stun, Nocturne shows up, you're probably cooked. So it can get a lot more difficult to play those side lanes, and that's something that Fudge is going to have to be really aware of.
Yeah, you kind of also have to just save your hop in so many situations. I doubt that Jose is going to want to ult up there early, but definitely in the mid game. Plus, we'll see if Jose is still a slave to Yeon and CoreJJ, as he was borderline tethered to bottom lane for the majority of that last game. You can't say it wasn't the right decision, though, with how fed Yeon ended up getting.
I mean, even last year with TL, when they were super struggling, everyone's like, yeah, but Yeon, though. Yeon is still playing really well, right? And TL, very clearly, we're going to rebuild the roster. It was going to be around Yeon. And so, Jose spending some time down there, but I think rightfully so. A lot of support bans coming through from Shopify, as Nico as well as Lulu are going to be taken away here. Ezreal going to be banned. I wouldn't have been surprised to see Xayah get banned away, because Ezreal, Xayah, to me, are like two of the hardest to dive on. Yeah. And so now I think we're just going to get Xayah Rakan, which I feel like TL maybe dropped the ball a little bit banning the Nautilus instead, because the Knockwave combo is way less effective against Xayah. It's actually one of the only AD carries in the game that can effectively dodge it.
I agree, actually. The Ezreal makes sense because Bvoy's Ezreal is insanely good. But I think they're getting pretty low value out of that Nautilus ban, especially with Rakan, Leona, all these other engaged supports available that will also then pair really well with Xayah.
And I mean, I don't expect Yeon to want to take away the Xayah. Generally, people like playing it with Rakan. I mean, in theory, you could pick it away. Yunara makes a lot of sense. They could go an Enchanter style and really just try to slam lane, because Rakan is not a strong early laner. So maybe that is their thought process, is yeah, they'll go Xayah, but this 2v2 is really good, so who cares?
Yep.
And we'll see if that does work out. But my concern is always just when you give a really safe AD carry like Xayah, that is removed as a big target for the Knockwave. And eventually, Azir will have Zonius.
Yes.
And then who do you ult? Who is your target, right? And that is kind of the problem here I always have with leaving up Xayah against this kind of comp. And maybe it'll be egg on my face and they don't even pick Xayah. Maybe it doesn't even matter. But that is kind of what my expectation was.
Yeah, I mean, he could pick Caitlyn if he really wanted to have a stronger lane, but come on.
With Rakan, it just doesn't feel
Come on, pick the Xayah.
Yeah, I feel like you just have to when you're going up against this Nocturne Orianna. There's so much dive, there's so much power. Maybe with the Bard coming in, you could do some kind of shenanigans, throw the Bard ult first and you try to force out the ults in certain ways.
But still, it's going to be a bottom lane that Team Liquid is trying to play aggressively around. Yunara, Bard are going to try and get a lot of push. Maybe instead of just trying to dive over and over again, they will then use the Bard to take over the rest of the map, as Bard does. But it's not a big surprise that Team Liquid has picked for the lane rather than necessarily the perfect late game team composition here.
Yep, and I mean, I think they have some really good scaling. Obviously, Ori scales really well. I think Bard and Yunara both scale really, really well. But Renekton and the Nocturne, it's a lot harder to get value in a team fight later on than it is for the Gnar as well as the Wukong. Rakan scales incredibly well as a team fight. They have two really good carries, lots of great engage over on the Shopify side. I do favor their 5v5 later on for sure. Once you have those luxury items come through, we have seen it. It can be very difficult to get value out of that Knockwave. Inspired. Some people were really hot on his build. Some people thought it was absolute trash, but he was kind of going for just this full CDR build, more tanky style. And he was basically saying, really the only damage that matters is the Orianna, so I'm just going to have a lot of CDR. I'm going to have the Abyssal Mass to amp your damage, but that means you're doing a lot less later too.
Yeah, on the Inspired build, I was talking to some people about that as well. the consensus I got was, so what Inspire did is he built Experimental Hexplate, which is all the Nocturnes do for the ult cooldown, then Abyssal, and then Kaenic. A lot of people wanted them to stop at the Abyssal, right? And then Stridebreaker afterwards to still have threat, because the Abyssal's not only going to give you some tankiness, it's also going to amp the Orianna's damage, and I believe they were double AP.
They had a lot of magic damage.
They had extra magic damage within the team comp.
They had a Nami bot as well, which is going to give more magic damage.
So that's, I agree with that take, that I liked the Mask and not the Kaenic.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they are going to be able to make it work. Both these teams, you know, in kind of interesting ways, had some like similar games, I feel like, when you're looking at last week and how the things went. These were their gold drafts, all kind of like overlaid, you know, where there were some throws or some things that didn't kind of go to exploitation.
For sure, but these are multiple games where they were actually winning past 25 minutes and then lost the game. So neither of these teams are going to walk away feeling super happy, but they're also not going to walk away feeling hopeless, because you can always say, well, we were in a position to win and then. Yep. So it's a better mindset to go into the off week with. But speaking of that, like this last game, Shopify was kind of in it until they weren't. So they're the ones that have had that happen multiple times now, and Team Liquid trying to pull themselves back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were very competitive, and I mean, this is them going up against pretty much what the aggregate #1 was, right? This was, we combined everyone's power rankings. The average power ranking for TL was 1.42.
Which was first overall.
First overall, and then the average power ranking for Shopify was 3.43, which was that third or fourth overall? I can't actually remember.
I think it's third.
Yeah.
Still top half.
Yep. But either way, you know, obviously had them both power ranked pretty highly. I think the Shopify ones were kind of like more controversial. Some people had them very high, like Kangas had them up as far as 1. You had them, what, 6th or 7th? I think you had them lowest. So people were kind of differing opinions. I know your take is kind of, overall, their win percentage was very low last year, and they're bringing in like a rookie. Like, is that really going to fix it? And then the glass half full was, hey, they finished pretty highly in summer, and they added a mid laner who's supposed to be really, really good. So surely that fixes everything.
So it's going to be really interesting in a sadistic sense if Shopify loses here and then they play Dignitas in the 002 match for elimination. Because so much was made about Shopify last year and how Palafox was the big weak point, and replacing him with Zinie is going to fix things. But, like, actually, though, they're just both worse? Like, is that... Because neither one of them have won a game now that they've been pulled apart.
It's not a win-win, it's a lose-lose.
Exactly. Like, was Palafox actually the perfect mid laner for Shopify, but just the net was there just slightly below 50% win rate?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was their peak. That was as high as they could go. TL going to be looking for a bot gank here. Xayah's going to be in some trouble. Will he flash? He does flash, but the Fear Tether does still connect. You asked, is Jose going to be tied to bot? The answer is yes. Even on the Nocturne, he ganks here at level 4, does force a flash, will have his recall delayed, which is pretty annoying, but at least Bvoy keeps his sums. It is basically the ghost of Yeon for the double sums here of Seos, as well as some time from Jose.
Yep, CoreJJ with a nice little roam tunnel. I like that gank look. I don't think he's losing hardly any time. I mean, I'm looking at the respawn of his Gromp, and it looks like he's going to get there pretty much on respawn. No counter jungling possible, so it is, I think it's going to become a meme if this happens every single game, though. Like, every single time there's a crab that Jose is down there ganking.
You know, it's funny because people talk about it with Yeon, which is rightfully so, but I feel like all of the iterations of TL that did really well, this was kind of how they played. Like, think about when they were winning the 4 straight titles. It was go bot for double lift, right? And it was always like, there was always this discussion about like, we're really trying to evolve past that. We want to play all these different play styles. And then playoffs would come, guess what they were doing? They were drafting, scaling, and going bot for double lift.
It's just not worth it to be diverse, you know? It's just do your thing and just do it really well. But that's funny. It was the double lift Ole originally, then double lift Core the next year. That's how long CoreJJ has actually been on Team Liquid, since that 2018 year. But it has been the best version of Team Liquid time and time again.
And I mean, the reality is, AD carries, at the end of the game, teamfights are very heavily based on how good your AD carry is, right? And Double Lift was, you know, the best AD carry we've ever had in NA. Yeon is absolutely stellar, so it makes sense. When you have players that are worth playing to, you're going to play towards them, right? You're going to try to focus on those styles. And obviously, you would love to be able to play every style, focus on every lane, play every champion, but it's usually just not realistic.
But we also don't even know what the best style is this year. With, I mean, the current patch with the AD carry question, the way cashback is balanced, maybe it actually is just get your carry to 5 or 6 items as fast as possible and win. But a lot of happening here in the mid lane. And also the top lane is Morgan has got the best of Fudge, and no one cares other than those two currently.
Yeah, I mean, Fudge forced back to base. He's down almost 20 CS, lost a plate, and Morgan's even going to be proxying here because you see Seos, I think he kind of knows that Wukong's going to be on the other side. Shockwave does land on a Zinie, but Seos should be able to keep him safe. We'll see if they want to try to go for any sort of a flash play. His core is still in the area, but I think it will dissipate. But with that proxy play here from Morgan, he's going to be able to recall, run right back. He doesn't even have to TP if he doesn't want to, and he's going to hold on to it.
And this is also bot crab disaster. If the game is decided on bot crab, I'm pretty sure this is going to Team Liquid because they have T advantage from the Renekton if they need it. They have mid push if they need it as well. But Contractz is still here looking to contest. Yeon is hit minions though. Contractz might get 6 off this.
Yeah, we'll see if he's going to be able to get it. Jose looking like he wants to back off. I mean, 3-6 Nocturne, it can be pretty dicey, so they're just going to give this away. Yeon going to be pushing in that bot wave, should know that they're in the area and will be backing off here pretty shortly. But, to touch on this top lane advantage, it is really interesting because, Morgan, career long, is a 40% win rate player, 40.8% win rate.
Yeah.
But Renekton
very
is
Shopify-esque.
Renekton is his it's true, maybe he should have been on Shopify.
You never know.
But Renekton is his most played champion, and he has a nearly, it's 58.6% win rate, like almost 100 games.
Damn.
It is his best champion by a lot throughout his career in pro play, and this is the first time he's gotten it in the LCS. He always got a lot of respect for how well he was able to pilot this champ, so it's going to be exciting to see how he does. You don't expect to see this massive CS advantage opening up when you are the one blinding and your opponent had counterpick.
Absolutely. Another bad joke. It's when he's on Renekton, it's like if Shopify is in a game that matters. So that's the level of improvement you see from just normal
it's
Morgan.
Shopify in the finals, and when he's off Renekton, it's Shopify versus Dignitas.
There we go.
There you go.
It's just the way it works at the moment. Back to the game. I'd say Bvoy Seos actually laning pretty well despite all the attention. Interesting that the crab ended up not really doing much. This is no C9 game where they're just going to totally flip the game over going for that level 6 crab. But Jose QUID now have the knock wave combo, but no one other than Seos has burned flash. So not a great target to really go for right now.
Yeah, but it is very hard to actually flash that. The timing is like almost impossible. If they do it perfectly, to me that's one of those plays where it's like you talk about misplay versus outplay. It's way more on the side of it has to be a misplay rather than an outplay. So sometimes when they press shockwave, you can like dash flash and then the shockwave kind of like expires, so to speak, before it gets to you. So there are sometimes there's timing, but it's very hard to actually flash it. And we have seen games even this split in the LCS where people try to flash it and it still connects and they just kind of like flash it onto their team. So it's really a tough one to disjoint. So I feel like it's very much on Jose and QUID and how well they're timing it and how well they're coordinating.
And I'd say Jose has pleasantly surprised a lot of TL fans. I know he's only played 3 games and they've only won 1 of the actual games, but he's looked good and he's had good synergy with the team. Interesting here, though, that looks like Contractz is going to be able to get this Drake as Jose is instead just getting some grub. So going to be a little bit of gold and maybe some extra plate acceleration, but in terms of the actual win condition of Soul, would greatly delay it for Team Liquid.
It would, but I'm going to be interested to see, will they go top with Nocturne ult, right? Because then it feels more worth it. Like, if Fudge Gnar is out and then it expires, and then you go top with Nocturne ult and Renekton ult, but he's recalling, so never mind. I was going to say, sometimes, people really want to just try to prioritize snowballing the lane. And then, hey, we're going to give up a dragon or 2, no problem. We're going to focus on gold, take away some camps, get some kills, and then show up to that third one with a big gold advantage where we fight. And it is a 700 gold advantage already in pure isolation for Morgan in this 1v1, who is just doing great. Fudge does go for the standard tier 2 boots rush. Gnar obviously needs a lot of move speed, but again, similar to the Rumble game, means that his first item spike is going to be quite delayed. So when Morgan hits that, he's going to be in a great spot.
I mean, almost 25 CS here, 700 gold. I wouldn't mind it if there's a window to gank, but with how much he's kind of pushing Fudge in this lane, I also think Fudge is going to be in a very defensive mindset, so even a Nocturne gank might be unlikely to work. And yeah, speaking of having Yunara and Core on your team, Jose pathing back down, so unlikely we see that. But Contractz might be going for a play up top, actually.
Yeah, Core is here in mid lane. Zinie could be in a little bit of trouble. Gonna look for the shift. He's just dead. He shifts out, but it is way too late. Nicely done. They don't even need to use the shockwave.
Wow.
QUID just able to finish him off there with the dissonance.
I feel like Zinie was big time tunnel vision there, because Core didn't do anything super sneaky.
No,
he
just
walked and autoed him.
Yeah.
And then it allows an easy kill from Jose. It was just ball W, basically, that ends up getting the kill. So that kind of blows this early game open a bit, because not only has top lane been winning hard, that gives QUID quite the advantage on Zinie.
Yeah, no kidding. And I mean, QUID is going to get a very fast Ludens as a result. It's actually already complete, right? Woo. So now you really have no fun in these kind of lanes where it's like they barely hit you with anything, but the Ludens proc, makes some of these trades very, very difficult for Zinie. So he's going to have to be really careful. This kind of new age Orianna build, I do really like that people are going way back into burst. As Morgan takes a nice trade here. For a while, we've been seeing these really defensive builds, like Roe was getting really popular again, and now we're back into Ludens, Shadow Flame, Death Cap, like more offense. And I think it's, especially with this combo, the correct decision. Like, you need to kill someone with your Knockwave combo, or generally you just don't win team fights, but Contractz heading bot.
Thinking about a dive, but I don't know if they can get the wave in on Yarn CoreJJ right now. Not to mention, heal is going to be up in about 5 seconds. There's both flashes. Core spots him.
Yeah, Core spots him, and does have the ult defensively on the Bard if he wants to use it, but they, at the very least, are going to push him off. So they're going to deny a wave, they're going to take a plate, Jose up towards top side, Fudge will flash to break the tether, but Contractz being very annoying. And it's kind of just a trade of top getting star for bot getting star, but I think Shopify are pretty happy with that, considering how much focus is generally given to Yeon.
Yeah.
And if Bvoy's in a great spot, he's going to be tough to kill again this game. On the Xayah, QUID flashing forward, going to be a trade of flashes. Core looking for the Tempered Fate, does connect.
I think they got him.
Anytime the binding, he can. Of course he can. It's another easy kill here for QUID, but Yeon on the bot side, maybe going to get taken down. Bvoy does commit the flash and the Featherstorm, gets the kill, completes the role quest. Yeon has lost like 3 waves here, but now QUID is coming in from behind. Still has the Shockwave available. Can he get there for Bvoy? Connects on the Shockwave, but on the other side, QUID is in a lot of trouble here from Contractz. Will survive though, because Contractz had already used the Cyclone earlier.
This is crazy. Yeah,
the heal survives, and Fudge on the other side of the map as Morgan and Jose are able to knock him down with the ulties. This is just a scrappy game across the map.
What ends up happening is both Team Liquid's solo lanes open up big leads, but Yeon is now far behind. So Bvoy dying at the end really hurts the overall trade for Shopify because his experience isn't going to be there. But if someone's going to carry this game for Shopify, it would be the Xayah, because she's the one that can immune that Knockwave combo later on in the game. And Yeon is just LOLing them in all chat because they set the farm for him. Meanwhile, they lose a turret top, 2 plates, the Gnar, the Xayah, and plates mid. So, like, net, it's a big advantage for Team Liquid.
Yeah, and this is just going to be really problematic dealing with QUID. QUID is so fed right now, and he is even grabbing the Sork boots, so going to have a lot of spell pen. It is all burst. Lucidity is so popular these days for that move speed on those tier 3 upgraded boots, but at this point, I mean, he already has 6 stacks on the Darksteel, already has the tier 2 boots. He's got a lot of AP behind him, and he is going to be a menace.
Yeah, I mean, he's no role quest yet, and he's swapped to mid, but I feel like he's so close to the role quest, it's probably not going to matter. Sometimes you can get in these awkward situations where your mid laner gets role quest, wants to leave, but it's going to delay your role quest. But he's definitely scaling now. If he's playing correctly and not egoing too hard about needing to be ahead of the other AD carry, he knows his solo laners are in a great spot right now, so he just needs to be late game insurance for the solo laners who are likely to carry the game.
Yeah, Core could be in some trouble here. Tries to go for the defensive. Ulti, he gets scooped over the wall. Zinie just saved him. Whoa! And the shockwave across everybody. There's the knockwave. Yeon, Jose, and QUID delete him as Zinie is playing for the wrong team. He scooped Core across the wall, saved him, and his whole team dies.
There ain't no way. That is just insult to injury right there. CoreJJ, the most dead a Bard should be, and it felt like as he got scooped, everyone else got ulted. Like, how insane was that timing into a 4-man shockwave from QUID, who has the most damage on the team? Just an insane sequence. And now Morgan's trying to dive Bvoy.
Yeah, Morgan has to flash out, but in case you missed it, the Power Spike moment means that MasterCard card holders can click on the link pinned in chat for their chance to win $50 in RP. So thanks, Jose. Try to go get that now. The solo lane's so far ahead for TL. I want to see that replay because Core was just trying to self-ult to delay. He was trying to keep himself alive.
Yeah, even if it's a late replay, like we need to show this play, we need to see that play again. Fudge, he's toast. He's dead too.
Yeah, that is unfortunate for Fudge there, and that is going to be an ISO death here. And our stats guy was digging up some interesting stats.
I've heard about this.
To stay the least here. What do you think?
Not a good look for either player. So the good news is Baus is on a 4-game win streak. after starting with 4 straight losses. So does this mean Fudge is going to lose 4 games in a row and then win 4 games in a row?
Let's find out.
If they are actually the same player.
The real question is not how many ISO deaths it is. It's how many good deaths you have, How good are those ISO deaths?
How much damage per death are you able to pull off as well?
Yeah, and unfortunately this one, Fudge is not getting a lot. It is nearly a 6,000 gold lead at 15 minutes, which quick math is not looking good.
So this will be an interesting game if we see a comeback. Because I do think,
big if.
Finally the replay. Okay.
He's trying to self-ult. Gets scooped out.
That's crazy. He's just like walking away. But then look at the shockwave, man.
Oh, boy.
How does it, that's one of the biggest, like, from edge to edge, he hit everybody.
That is a 4-man
That is
ulti.
Everyone's reaction.
Core tries to self-ult just to delay, gets scooped over the wall, lives, the whole team dies, and he's like, okay, that's why we got QUID.
Coaching, baby, yes. Yeah. Told me to do that.
Ooh, he's a Mage Eyes. QUID is feeling it this game, as that is going to be a forced ult out from Bvoy. Okay. Shadow Flame's almost done. He's got 14 stacked Mage Eyes, Eluden's tier 3 boots, and a 3,000 individual gold lead at 16 minutes. What do you think?
I think he's fed. But, as we were saying, I do feel like our feel for what a throw used to be is no longer what a throw is. And it's because the magnitude of your mistake is multiplied more in this season than in past seasons. So objective bounties are even on right now. QUID is worth 1,000 gold. Jose's worth like 700, close to 800 gold if you count assist gold. So if somehow they just like, those two try and make a hero play, doesn't work, they both die, and objective bounty's taken, we'd be in like a 2,000 gold game.
Bvoy has no ult, so we'll see if they are going to send it here. They do have that Orianna Shockwave up and available, as well as the Nocturne ulti. Shopify rallying the troops to try to defend. But I do agree, yeah, we have seen a lot of throws. There's so much gold in the game. And players are worth a lot less gold very quickly when you die multiple times in a row. Yeah. Bounties are worth so much, objective bounties. There can be massive swings, but this would have to be a truly huge swing, as it is just about 8,000. Now it did crest 8,000 briefly before going back under it. They're losing control of their jungle. They're losing every lane on the map, it feels like, at this point. And TL gonna get engaged on. QUID immediately flashes back. Here comes the Nocturne ult. Are they gonna send it? Shockwave is up and available. They're gonna land it onto Contractz. Contractz trying to run away, but Jose is flashing there to follow. The Tempered Fate does not connect. Yeon dueling here with Bvoy on the side. We'll just back it up, and they'll take the 1 kill onto Contractz. And
there's nothing else to do because Baron's not up yet. We're only 18 minutes into the game, so nice little sequence there by Team Liquid. Very close to being more if that Bard ultimate was just a hair deeper to be able to catch Rakan and Gnar, but still, they're able to kill Contractz once again, keep him down, keep him from farming his own jungle, and now they can just all reset and catch these waves and jungle camps.
18 stacks on the Mage Eyes. We're getting closer.
It's a soul war, and he's going to win it.
It's going up and up. Yeon now on 2 completed items. Bvoy very soon will have his second, as he's working towards those quick blades likely. But, I mean, Zinie is just so far behind that it's really hard to imagine Zinie being able to have a good fight. And when he's that far behind, you just kind of know everything is going to be thrown at Bvoy. And even if he survives, like, there's not really a lot of threat besides him on the team. So it's just so hard, right? When there's only one person who's strong, you just got to throw everything at them. They have to run the whole fight, and it's hard to get much damage out.
I mean, just look at the, not only is it a big gold lead, but it's a big inventory lead. It's like 2.5 items on everyone.
It's going to be good, though. Morgan in some trouble up on the top side as Bvoy just runs up there with Fudge. They're going to try to look to chase him down. The Featherstorm's actually going to get committed, even though Bvoy was full health and Morgan wasn't even popping the ult. But they do get the kill. It goes to Fudge.
It's a nice shutdown. Should help Fudge in the side there. I'd say pretty smart there by Bvoy to just shadow Fudge. Oftentimes you're thinking that it's only a jungler or even a mid laner that's going to be up there, but there's no realistic way that Shopify would ever take a fight anywhere else on the map. So they catch Morgan just being a little bit cheeky with an over-aggressive trade. At least they're going to stop him from getting a plate after taking the Drake as QUID teleports off to catch the wave.
Yep, QUID will be able to defend this no problem. And yeah, I mean, for Shopify, they know it. They're massively behind. It's time to get creative, right? You just have to look for trailing plays, try to punish people in the side lanes, look for these kind of more risky moves because those are the only things that are really going to have a chance of working for you.
Yep. Wait for the 20-minute mark and set up around Baron. So CoreJJ is already on the way. He's going to try and get some deep vision. I think ideally you find a pick because they have a lot of engage.
Yeah.
And there's no flash on Gnar, no flash on Wukong. So I believe that is where Team Liquid is. They're just going to try and keep mid-top pushed as much as possible, but it's going to be kind of tricky to get all the vision cleared here in the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm TL, I just feel like you never want to start the Baron. You only want to try to use it as a bait to get picked, because legit the only way I could see them losing this game is if they start Baron, it gets stolen, and then they all get wiped, you know? It's like, that's pretty much it. So if you just keep deleting waves, you know, pushing it in, controlling vision, force them to come into you, and then just try to take a fight, you know, that really, I think, is going to be the recipe for success. QUID going to be able to spot Zinie. Already saw Contractz in the area as well as Core, again, just moving forward. Morgan is there, the entire TL squad now in the area, so confident to move forward as Jose is here. Nice little engage coming through. Can they find the combo? Tempered Fate defensively onto Core. Good scoop back from Zinie, trying to flash away, but Morgan flashes in on top of him, and QUID goes godlike. Fudge is on the run. Seos is already gone. Bvoy can't even get involved. Contractz is still alive, but he's kind of in the wrong spot, and he's going to get spotted now. Contractz has no chances. Look at that shockwave. Just deletes him, and the Baron is going to go down next. Bvoy, get in there, buddy.
25 stacks.
Yeah, we're hoping,
he made it.
We're hoping for a Feather Storm steal or something at this point. I mean,
give it up.
It's looking cooked.
Give it up. White, raise the flag. You're not. He's going to try.
You got to.
A Q.
You're down 1,000,000 gold. Just pray.
It's a 1,400 damage smite. There's no way anyone's stealing it nowadays.
The only hope is you got to make them panic, right?
True. Smite at 1401.
Exactly. Exactly. You're praying for a miracle at this point.
Storm Surge now for the 25 stack QUID. Let's see how much AP he has with Baron. No elixir, 500 AP. I mean,
not bad.
Still got another item slot. If this game continues, 22 minutes in, he's already at 4 full items and upgraded boots.
I mean, he has a lot of flat pen here as well, which is going to make things kind of nasty. He's got 48 flat pen. So let's see, how much MR does Bvoy have? Bvoy's got 44. So he's doing true damage to Xayah.
Well, the Azir's probably pretty similar. Yeah, 44.
So true damage.
True damage? So we can just read the tooltip and that's how much damage it does?
Yeah, yeah.
876 damage alt, 631 on the W. So even if he doesn't Q, that's like
1,500–1,600 damage from RW.
Yeah. Bvoy has 1,900 health.
Yep, and then guess what? Nocturne ult does damage too. So, so it's problem. We'll see.
Oh, wait, he's gone. We missed it.
We didn't miss it. That just happened. Zinie is just deleted. That is a true damage. Orianna knocks him down in a hurry. TL marching on the base. There's no reacting to that.
Is this the scrim TL that was promised? Is this why we had them #1 in the power rankings? Look at this. I think
so. I mean, this is looking tough. Welcome to the LCS, Zinie. As he's 0-5-0, Contract's going to look for the engage, but QUID, even the basic abilities, deals so much damage. Morgan is zoning him out on the other side. QUID survives, and Bvoy cannot say the same. TL looking to finish this one off in a hurry. It's 23 minutes in, and they are just hitting the Nexus. TL going to be able to close out the series. Fudge chasing after CoreJJ, trying to get something, scoops him back. Seos goes in, they get a shutdown. Zinie is back, and they hold the line. Fudge falls now here to Yeon. Seos trying to run away. Zinie going to erect the tower, see if he can hold on for a little bit longer. You can see Morgan's going back to base. They may have just barely survived.
He wants to base TP because he's low on health and they want to end, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they're just going to continue pushing forward. Here comes the teleport. Seos has got to make his move right now. Zinie's just going to get ran down. Can't connect onto Yeon as Yeon goes on a killing spree. Contractz is back up, so is Bvoy. Eyes on the Nexus, though. TL trying to get one more kill. They do pick it up. They knock down the Nexus. They sweep Shopify. And what a monster game from QUID.
QUID performed at an MVP level, but I also think we had perfect timing for the QUID feature because we talked about the first game that QUID played on state against JoJo, where he had an absolutely abysmal performance. There were a bunch of 100 Thieves fans saying he was a bust, saying they shouldn't brought him in, and then he turned into an MVP in what we saw this game. That's the video you need to send to Zinie right now because he just had that exact experience that QUID had against QUID. 0-6-0 on this Azir. An abysmal performance here in Game 2 by Zinie and Shopify. But it can get better, as QUID's proven, as Team Liquid dominates.
It definitely can get better. Analysts, is it going to get better soon?